Welcome to Board Game Empire. We're going to be doing a quick overview and review of Unforgiven, the Lincoln Assassination Trial. That is a lot to say in one word. Unforgiven, the Lincoln Assassination Trial. There. This is a game where you are playing either the defense or the prosecution. It's a two-player game, and it's based all around, obviously, the assassination of Abraham Lincoln, and you're determining the fate of the ones that were accused. Most notably, Mary Surratt, I think is who I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. She was one of the accused in helping with that. So there's 3 phases represented by cards. You'll be fanning these out, and here I will show you in the book since we didn't reset it up. You'll be fanning them out in a way, or I guess laying them out wouldn't be fanning, where you have a row of face up, face down, face up, so that pattern. And basically you're pulling from the face up, and as soon as 2 more are uncovered, those are face up. So it basically makes it to where only a few cards are available each turn for each player that you're choosing from the trial phase cards. And so it starts out with trial phase 1, 2, and then up to 3. There's 3 ways to win this game. The one way is by moving the trial justice marker all the way over to your side. So if you're defense, you want to get it all the way to innocent, or if you're the prosecution, you want to get it all the way to guilty. Or you can persuade 4 of the jurors by collecting 4 juror tiles. That's an instant win. This is instant win that game ends when those 2 happen. Or if no one does either of those and all of trial phase 3 cards have been depleted from this stack here, or whatever you would call it, then it goes on to trial points. Then you tally up all your cards based on the trial points, and the winner would be that person who has the most points. So it was a pretty close game for us, and the justice marker was always near the end on mine, and I think I may have had more points, but Anthony was focusing on collecting the jurors, and so he won basically 1 turn before I would have won by collecting that 4th juror tile. So she was pronounced innocent because he was the defense in our game. You're going to be collecting sway tokens. Those allow you to purchase cards. There's different, the cost of the cards are here that you're purchasing from. You have to be able to purchase them to take them from here. Or if you can't, you just discard 1 for 2 sway tokens. So you're going to be paying whatever the cost is. Some of them have no cost on the bottom. And then your benefit is on top. Some are immediate, one time. Some are constant. You get a resource that you can use every turn. You're only going to be doing one thing on each turn. You're either going to be drafting a trial card and paying for it. You're going to be discarding a trial card and gaining 2 sway tokens. You're going to be discarding a trial card to persuade a juror. You just discard it, and then these persuading the jurors here, you have to pay the resources to move this 1 step closer to you. And as you can see, they get a little bit more. It's 2, 3, and then 4 of that same resource. Once you've paid that last amount, it goes over into your tableau. You still have to, you haven't activated him yet. You still have to activate him to win the game by paying all the resources at the bottom of his juror tile. Once you've done that, then you get the reward that's for activating it. When you get these little noose ones, that moves this justice marker closer to you. So if it has 3 of those, it moves at 4 spaces. 2 of them, it moves at 3, and one and it moves at 1 space. The reason you want to move this as much as you can, you will gain dice. So if you, unfortunately, it goes from you, but you have it goes over the 0 mark. If it's over on this side and I'm able to bring it back over that 0, I get this dice, whatever it's showing is my resource to use as a resource later in the game.
And you replace the dice right after?
Right, you would just take one out of the trial bag and then put it back. If you manage to get to your 4, there's a juror here. There's one on each space. The one on yours, you get to put that in your tableau, but again, you do have to pay the resources to activate it before you could actually use the benefit and count it as persuading a juror. Same with this side. If that person brings that to the 4 or higher, they get to collect that one to hopefully be able to activate later when they have the resources. You will build up resources. It's slow in the beginning of the game, but near end of trial phase 2 and definitely trial phase 3, you have more than ample resources in several of them. There might be some that you're short on. Like I was short on the little head with the little cogs, but I wasn't really focusing on these. When I play this again, I will focus on that more. I was too focused on moving this and my points, and I let Anthony win by not paying attention to what he was doing over here. But so you do want to pay attention to all 3 of those ways to win and try to have your edge on all 3 of them. I had 2 of the 3 going for me. I don't think I didn't collect any of these, did I?
But she gave her hand like right away at the beginning of the game, so I knew what she was going for. So I was like, all I had to do was get rid of a lot of the news cards so she wouldn't be able to go to the guilty or, for the prosecution. And then I also knew she was going for the points part. So all I had to do was focus on one element of the game. And once I figured that out, which was like after like the 3rd turn, then I knew I was good. So I had to just block her for all the way till the phase 2.5. Once I 2.5, I saw that there was very little cards that she could go to the guilty. I knew I had it.
He was scared once, though. I was able to dig through the discard pile and take any 2 cards to put in my area. Unfortunately, all the noose cards were they had to be 2 different color cards. So all the noose ones were, there wasn't that 3 one in there, or I would have easily been able to take it. But yeah, I was so close to winning. But I didn't explain these dice. These trial dice, you were able to collect at the beginning of each trial phase. If you could get the one closest to you for free, or like in other games, if you don't want that one, you just pay a sway token to skip it. If I really wanted that middle dice, I would have to put 2 sway tokens, take that one, take another one out of the bag, and re-roll it and put it in that space. Same for the innocent. These are randomly placed, so...
You don't re-roll it till the next turn. You leave it... It's something you're supposed to leave it blank during each turn. Someone takes one.
Right, and then you add them in after both are collected. Yeah. And then these cards here are actually trial phase 1 cards. They go under these just for the resources, because you can pay that instead of these resources to persuade this... persuade this juror closer to you. So when it's here, when it moves down, obviously you'd have to pay these. So that's totally random. I actually didn't use those at all. But those were quite a lot. So it really wouldn't have helped me to use those versus doing these. I think did I cover everything in a nutshell? I mean,
yeah.
So what did you?
Did you cover how you collect the resources?
Yeah, these are resources. They're on top of your cards.
Okay, yeah. And there's a lot of cards that do different things.
Yeah.
Like the red ones are in-game. A lot of times they stack on what kind of like set collection type. And then the black ones are more like the generals and stuff that you get a lot of stuff from. And also to win for the 4 generals you get, or captains. But I really like the components. The box is really cool too.
Oh yeah, I love the box.
Yeah.
It looks like a book.
Yeah, it's really cool. They thought everything in the resources, and these are not stickered on. They're actually like on there. So, and then the board's nice and thick. Everything's easy to read. The font's easy to read, and so great components. Very impressed. And then of course the little bag for the Not this. This is ours. Okay, but everything else is good. Now, as far as replay, high replayability because it has enough cards and then also you're going through 3 phases, and each phase has quite a bit of cards that you can do with, and so high replayability. Also, because it's very strategic, and there's 4 different avenues of being, or is it three different avenues of ending the game. Between the 4 jurors you have to collect. The guilt or innocent track, or if you finish all 3 trials by points. So high replayability in that aspect. Mechanics, I'm very impressed with the mechanics. This was a game that I thought we would enjoy, but I didn't know if she would enjoy it because it's sometimes you don't know if someone's going to enjoy it. You will, but I was very impressed with mechanics because there's so much strategy to it, and we just had a lot of fun because it was a kind of give and pull type. Because the tracks are just going back and forth, back and forth. The prosecution and defense here in the center, and also the guilty and innocence just keeps going back and forth the whole time, and so it's like a tug of war type of game. And there's some of the generals and captains, they have where you could have multiple resources each turn, which is really cool. And some of the other cards as well. So there's a lot of things that the cards could do in themselves too. And so I'm very impressed with the mechanics. So overall total, I'm giving this a 9 out of 10 because it's a quick game, easy setup. Probably takes like 7-10 minutes. The game probably took 40 minutes?
Probably, yeah.
40, 45
I wasn't really
minutes.
timing it, but yeah.
Yeah. It went by fast because of the tug of war that we had to keep, experiencing during the game. So very impressed. 9 out of 10. Would love to play this again. Really good game.
Yes, I really enjoyed this game as well. It's kind of it's exciting because there's only anywhere from 2 to 3 cards that you can choose from each round. And so you only get 1 action. So that sometimes is a conundrum to decide what you want to do, because you can pretty much kind of tell what your opponent is going for or what they need. You can tell later on in the game. So when you're discarding cards to do those actions to move, to help you persuade jurors and to convince an available juror or persuade a juror, you have to discard cards. So you're going to want to choose one that obviously they want. And he was good at that. He got the card every single time that I was hoping to get. Or when you're discarding to get sway points, it's very strategic in that way. And of course, the cards that you choose, I mean, at the beginning, you're limited on your resources, so you're pretty much only getting what you can afford, or just trying to stock up on more sway points, because there's a lot of them that just take sway points. But it's got a lot of build to it, which keeps it exciting, especially when you're building on your tableau and you're stacking. You can stack things as far as there's cards that give you a residual ongoing effect. And then there's cards that if it does end up going to trial points, there's cards that are point salad cards that stack based on what type of cards you've collected. So there's so many different strategies that you can go in this game. My suggestion is to cover all 3 as much as you can. I know you can't go for all of them gung-ho, but I had 2 of them covered pretty well, and I let my defense down here and didn't stop him, or I easily could have taken it by this way or by trial points, because I had a lot of them stacked up.
Well, I also sacrifice when, sometimes I would sacrifice my own progression and take a card. That way it didn't uncover some of the cards that are turned, or because if I took a card and I knew she would take one of those where it progresses this track, I knew I was doomed. Yeah, we were both. So there was 2 cards that we were both doing anything we could not to turn that one card over, or to take that card that would
would allow those to be taken, because it would have been game changer for either of us if we got it. And it got down to where it was like, dang it, I had to take it.
Yep.
He got lucky, and I think it was around where he went first, so the way the turn order went, it was just, yeah, he had that little smile on his face he has right now. But I don't know if I said my rating. I would give this an 8.5. It was a lot of fun, and I think it would be even more fun next time we play, because, you know, we'll have more of a strategy going into the game straight on versus kind of learning as you go strategy. But highly recommend this game. So if you like, you know, these types of games, it's definitely one you will want to add to your collection. And even if you're on the fence about it, honestly, if you like kind of point salad, kind of like he said, the tug of war games, it's just unique and fun, and it's not complex whatsoever. The only complexity is just remembering all the resources you have to use. But if you stack your cards in a way, organize them as you're playing, it's easy to kind of quickly just figure out, oh yeah, I've got two of those. But yeah, it's very easy to learn. It should be easy to teach someone. And it's just, we had a lot of fun playing it.
Did.
We will put the link in the description if you want to check it out for yourself. Please, if you want, leave a comment or a question. We get to those as soon as we can. We hope you'll like this video and share it with your friends if you think it's a game they may want to check out. If you're already subscribed, thank you so much for being a subscriber. We appreciate it. And if you're not, we hope you will subscribe and click that bell so you can see all of our content we put out. Thanks again, and we look forward to seeing you next time.